Good morning, and thank you for joining us at Bringing the Zoo to You. I'm Dana, and I am the lead animal care specialist here at the Pachyderm building, and today I'm going to be talking to you about tortoises. So while not technically pachyderms, they do have very thick shells in our building, but they are big like the other animals in our building. The two kind of tortoises that we have here at Pachyderm are the sulcata, or African spur-thighed tortoise, which are the brown-looking tortoises, and then the Galapagos tortoises, which are the more black-looking tortoises. So the ones Lynette is showing you right now are the spur-thighed tortoises. They are from Africa and are found in the Sahara Desert. They can grow up to, sorry, it's hot.
Does being hot make you forget facts, Dana?
Makes me forget facts. It also makes my mouth dry. I'm sorry.
It's okay, take your time.
They can live up to 100 years old, typically 80 to 100, and they mature at around 15. The animals in front of you are the two largest that we have currently. The one on the right is Spike, and the one on the right is Tank, and he is 30 years old. And the one on the left is Spike. I'm sorry, geez Louise.
What? Do you want to start over?
No. Here we go. I got this. All right. Big Aggie and Tank. Both are 30 years old. The other one that's larger in the back there is also 30 years old, and that is Spike. The smaller one on the left is Conrad, and he is 11. I say he, but we actually don't know the sex of that animal.
Why not?
Because you can't really find out their gender until they are mature, which, like I already mentioned, was 15 and he's 11.
Yeah,
so
okay, I can do math.
yeah, there we go.
I just wasn't sure if there was I don't know, whatever, continue.
Okay. So Tank here is our biggest, and right now he weighs right around 150 pounds. So that's pretty big.
Yeah.
So like I said, these tortoises are found in Africa and live in the Sahara Desert. What they would commonly eat in the wild would be grass, flowers, weeds, and actually cactus. I just feel like they should have yum.
Sorry, I just got bitten by a fly.
Sorry. Here at the zoo, so they're herbivores. They eat only vegetation. So you can see them enjoying some butter lettuce and romaine today. And then they also have some chopped leafy greens, a little bit of fruit, and a little bit of veg. So some carrots, some sweet potatoes. And then they do get some grass hay here as well. So what makes tortoises interesting is that they are the only animals with backbones to have a shell. So I think I mentioned that earlier. The shell is made of 59 to 61 bones that are covered in plates called scutes. That's okay. Made of keratin. So there's a little bit of a difference between the shells of the spur-thighed tortoise and the Galapagos tortoises. The Galapagos tortoises actually have like a honeycomb shape inside that has some air pockets in it, which makes the shell a little bit lighter for them because they are actually the largest tortoise in the world. So our tortoises here don't look very big, especially compared to the spur-thigheds, but that's because they're not very old. So they are all 11 years old, or almost 11. I believe their hatch date was July, so they're almost 11. We have 3 of them. They're named after a few of the Galapagos Islands. They're Isabella, Charles, and Floriana. They're all currently right around 70 pounds.
Are these the ones who hatched here?
Yes.
Okay.
They live 100 years or more, and the oldest on record was like over 150 years old. It's pretty crazy. They are native to 7 of the Galapagos Islands, and currently it is believed that there is only about 10 species left of them. When Darwin first went to the islands and saw them, there was 15 species at the time. Now that was a long time ago, but it's pretty sad to think that we've lost 4 to 5 species in that kind of short amount of time. In comparison, they are up to 6 feet long and can weigh up to 475 pounds. I guess there's some record-breaking animal that was like 900 pounds, but in general, they're right around 500 pounds. What makes them kind of cool is they can live up to a year without eating or drinking. They have a very low metabolism, which is not evident right now as they're like mowing away and moving all around. But in general, tortoises, but especially the Galapagos tortoises, will spend most of their day resting. And then they also have huge internal water stores. So in kind of refreshing myself on my tortoise information, I actually learned that they were often used on ships because they were a great source of meat, especially the larger animals. These guys probably wouldn't feed very many people. And then they would actually drink the water that they had stored in their body. I don't know if that's for me, but you know, for people on a ship, I guess that's pretty cool. So they have a similar diet in the wild to the African spur-thighed tortoise of grasses, weeds, and cactus. They're a little bit different from each other in their egg laying and incubation periods, but not by much. The Galapagos tortoise lays up to 16 hard-shelled eggs, and they incubate for about 4 to 8 months, whereas the spur-thighed tortoise has 15 to 30 eggs per clutch, and then incubates underground for about 8 months.
Why do the Galapagos tortoises have these colors on their shells?
So the Galapagos tortoises, like I said, they're all right around 70 pounds, and they all hatched around the same date. So they're all pretty much the same size. They haven't really developed a lot of differences in their shell patterns that we've been able to disseminate yet. So we put, it's safe nail polish that we can put on there as a marker to tell the animals apart. So the way we tell the other, the spur-thighed tortoises apart is by size and by differences in shell. So you can see that Tank obviously is the biggest. Conrad next to him is much smaller. Big Aggie has a very...
Oh, okay, sorry.
Big Aggie has a smooth shell, and then Spike over here has kind of a smooth back end of the shell, and then a lumpy front of the shell.
So his name's Spike because of the lumps on the front?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Can these swim?
Tortoises can't swim, so tortoises, the big difference between tortoises and turtles are generally one is more aquatic and one is more land-based, tortoises being more land-based. Some of the differences you might see are generally in the shell. Tortoises have a bigger, more domed shell, larger. Again, they're much larger, they're heavier. Turtles need to be more streamlined, so they have a more flat shell. And some have webbed feet, some don't, so that's not necessarily a telltale.
How far would a tortoise roam?
So they said like during mating times is when they would kind of roam most, and they might roam a mile in a day. So the only thing I could find on how fast they go said that the Galapagos could go 0.16 miles per hour, which compared to a human at 2.8. So
you're
half.
saying you could run faster than a tortoise?
I mean, well, sometimes I have to when it's feeding day.
So speaking of feeding day, how often do they eat?
So tortoises are reptiles, so their digestion is highly reliant on their ability to warm themselves. So they need to go out in the morning in the summer months and go out and catch the sun's rays to help warm them up from the cool off overnight. That helps get everything working, get their digestive system working, so that they're able to eat and digest their food. So during the summer months, we feed them, that they get this kind of leafy, greeny diet 3 times a week, and then they have access to hay at all times. In the winter months, where it might be a little bit cooler here in Illinois, we just provide them with heat lamps inside, so that they can still raise their temperature as needed during the day, and then cool off overnight. So they're pretty easy for us to take care of. We just have to provide a heat lamp. They also enjoy soaking in a tub of water, or even like a little mud bath out here.
So This guy on the left, the blue one,
Charles.
was making some noises, some kind of hissing noises.
Yes.
What other noises do they make?
The hiss is the most common, and it's usually their way of saying, "Hey, get away from me." So right now he's kind of protecting his food from, his friend here. They'll often make noises while mating. That's generally another time when they might make some noises. They'll grunt, hiss, almost like bellow.
So we can also see that as Charles is eating, he can retract his head inside his shell a bit. So how can they retract their entire body into their shell?
So they can't come out of their shell. Their shell is attached to their body by their backbone, and it's their main way to defend themselves. So while it's not not passive, but what's the other word?
I don't know.
I need some help,
Sorry. Sorry, I was busy watching this guy just barrel his way tank, right?
It's their way to defend themselves. So they can pull their head and their feet in, but not all the way. Their head and neck go all the way in, and then their feet kind of cover up the rest of the little soft bits of their body. And you can kind of see up close on the front of their legs there. Both animals have much harder scales. Both kinds of tortoises have much harder and larger scales there that help to defend them. You can check out tanks. Those are pretty impressive.
He just barrels his way through.
He barrels,
my gosh,
he doesn't care.
So funny.
The joy of being the biggest animal.
So are there other of these big tortoises in other areas of the zoo? I know we've got Spur-thighed tortoise at Wild Encounters.
Yes, one of the Spur-thighed is there. And I believe they have a Galapagos still at Feathers and Scales, maybe? No. Birds and Reptiles, maybe? I believe there are 2 other animals out there.
I think they go out by the fountain, right? Or
yes.
these guys?
These did used to go out by the fountain, but I think that one still goes out by the fountain along with some of the other tortoises that they keep over there.
Oh, we have a lot of tortoises here.
We have a lot of tortoises.
That's really cool.
Here. Lots of different kinds.
So can you tell us again, remind us for the people who joined late,
Yeah.
what the differences are between the grayer tortoises and the browner ones?
Yes. So today we're at the Pachyderm building, and we house 2 of the largest species of tortoises in the world. The black ones here in front of us are Galapagos tortoises, who are found on the Galapagos Islands. And then the more brown-colored ones are African spur-thighed or sulcata tortoises, which are found on the continent of Africa, most commonly in the Sahara Desert. The main difference between them is size. It's very difficult to tell right now because our Galapagos tortoises are young, but the Galapagos tortoises are the largest in the world, and the spur-thighed are the largest mainland tortoises in the world. So we've got the Galapagos and the Aldabra, which are island tortoises, and they get larger than the sulcata.
Are they usually solitary animals, or do they live in groups?
That's a good question. They live in groups here, and they get along fine in doing so. On the Galapagos Islands, you'll often see, pictures of many tortoises living together. They have dominance things for breeding and for power.
What you doing, bud?
He'll show you. Yep, this is dominance. What'd you ask me?
I don't remember. I was busy getting challenged by a tortoise.
Back it up, Charles.
We'll just go over by somebody else. I don't remember what the question was. Let's see if I can.
Oh, do they live together?
Oh yeah, do they live together? In the wild, yeah.
In the wild, I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, here. This is.
Oh yeah.
This is a good shot of the tail. You can't usually see their tail.
A tail, and you can see the spurs on their thighs, which is where they get their name from, Spur-thighed. Hi, can I help you?
So who's the pink one? Ow.
Watch out.
Yeah, there's a tree.
The pink one is Isabella. Like I said, the blue one is Charles, and then the yellow one is Floriana.
Okay. I don't know. What other questions do we have?
While we wait, we have some other cool things that. Oh,
excuse you.
The sulcata tortoises actually will build big dens during the day to protect themselves from the heat of the day, up to 10 feet deep. Just gonna come enjoy some apples.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I was in the way. Excuse me. Do we have any eggs?
We do not
right now. I know you said we have some immature.
Yeah, the Galapagos tortoises are immature. They're only 11 years old. And then we have not had any eggs from our sulcatas, and they should be mature enough. And we believe Tank is a male, and then the other two larger animals are female. And they have lived with each other for quite some time.
Can you remind us how long they can live?
Yes, the sulcata tortoises generally live 80 to 100 years, and the Galapagos tortoises can live over 100 years.
All right. Any other cool facts? Which is your favorite? How about that?
Which is my favorite animal?
Yeah, which is your favorite animal?
I mean, I like Tank because he's kind of a brute and he's big and impressive and.
Yeah, he's in charge.
But the Galapagos are, I don't know, they're getting more daring and inquisitive and more interactive with us, which is fun. We're hoping to start training them to enjoy some neck rubs. It's actually something that a few other institutions do. If you can go in with the tortoises, they'll do a big neck extension and you can rub underneath their neck.
Yeah, so what do they feel like?
I mean, the shells are hard and pretty smooth. And I've never been able to touch the necks on the Galapagos yet, but then I don't know.
Okay, no, that's fine.
It kind of feels like your grandma's arm.
Oh my God.
Like the tricep area of your grandma's arm. That's what that feels like.
Now you made me forget what I was going to ask next. Oh yeah, I was going to ask what kind of training.
So we don't actually do very much training with them. They just came to Packy last year. So the only thing that we've kind of worked with them on is getting voluntary weights. So we'll put a little platform scale in with them, and then use lettuce actually to lure them onto the scale, or some of their favorite treats here like apples, like this one's enjoying. So that's all we've really done. And then, like I said, our hope is that we can kind of train the Galapagos animals to enjoy some neck rubs.
All right.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today while we talked about tortoises. It's always a pleasure to be here talking to you. If you haven't already, please consider going to our website and considering adopting an animal in our Share the Care program. And just thank you for your continued support. Have a great day.